Breaking news, word that a Sarah Palin Facebook posting a map of congressional districts with rifle crosshairs, rifle scope crosshairs was taken up by the House Democratic leadership as one more threat in the wake of their vote on health care reform. Now, as we mentioned at the top, Ms. Palin tweeting as well, quote, common sense conservatives and lovers of America, quote, don't retreat, instead reload. Her tweet, part of a string of headlines over the past few days that have outraged a lot of Democrats. Back now with Dana Bash and John Avalon, author of Wingnuts, How the Lunatic Fringe is Hijacking America. You've talked in recent months to this guy that Dana mentioned, Mike Vanderboegh. And I want to just read some of what he has said on his blog, because it's pretty, it's pretty stunning stuff. He says, if we do a proper job, if we break the windows of hundreds, thousands of Democratic Party headquarters across this country, we might just wake up enough of them to make defending ourselves at the muzzle of a rifle unnecessary. And he's claiming credit for some folks throwing bricks through windows of Democratic offices.
That's right. And just subsequently, we've seen 4 different instances of bricks and broken windows at Democratic county headquarters or congressmen's district offices. This is clearly an incitement. Some people have taken up that mantle. And Vanderboegh is part of this growing movement we've seen in America, which I call the Rhetoric movement, but it's a rebirth of the militia movements from the 1990s. We've seen a 300% increase in the first year of the Obama administration. And he is a leader in that movement.
And he was in the militia movement back in the 90s.
That's exactly right. He was a leader. When I spoke to him, it's an unexpected story. He was a 60s leftist who became a radicalized Second Amendment activist and then a militia leader, and now he was one of the co-founders of this group called the 3 Percenters, which is one of these groups that are out there. But through his blog, he's really been inciting and appears to be successfully inciting acts of violence that we've only just begun to see. And he has a larger agenda than just these broken windows.
I want to play a clip of him warning people about a violent confrontation with the government. Let's listen.
Folks, you need to be getting ready. You need to be forming neighborhood defense organizations. You need to be looking to your larders. You need to be looking to your arsenals. You need to be looking to your physical fitness. You need to be looking toward your neighbors and who can you count on, and how do you build small fire teams and things like that. These are the things that you must be doing now, because events will overtake you if you do not.
These kind of, there are a lot of blowhards out there, and this guy sounds like one of those blowhards who normally you would just kind of like dismiss as an armchair warrior. But clearly, he seems to be taking credit for some of this violence. That's
right. And when blowhards meet with paramilitary organizations, which what these hatred groups are, all of a sudden you've got real problems. That's the language of a survivalist school. These folks, he's been telling his folks on his blog for some time now to get ready for what he called TDB, the big die-off. He's been saying we're going to be heading towards a real conflict with the government. These are the folks who've been predicting martial law, and they see themselves as patriots resisting the federal government, but they have been predicting a violent conflict with the government over the whole first year of the Obama administration, and now he seems to be getting some folks to begin to act out in small ways. He sees himself as a patriot trying to stop a civil war, but sure, it's indicative of these groups who want to defend the Constitution by doing violence to it.
Dana, we were talking earlier about security on Capitol Hill. Not just concerned there, though. Members of Congress are about to go home for spring recess, and that's where we've been seeing a lot of these incidents.
That's right. Steve Driehaus, who you saw in the piece earlier, he is a freshman from Ohio. He told me that not only have there been protests already at his house in Ohio, that there is actually a protest planned specifically at his house that somebody, he's not alone in this, somebody published on a blog the home address. And, he said to his wife and kids, look, you just got to stay inside. And he said he's a little worried about it. I actually asked Steny Hoyer, the House Majority Leader, about this today. What are you telling these members to do, and what specifically did they hear from the security folks that they brought in to talk to them? And they just said, look, just do the best you can to protect your families, to protect your kids. And obviously, if there are real incidents, you got to report it so we can come out and help you.
Dana Bash, appreciate the report. Thanks very much. John Avalon as well. Up next tonight,